Ooh! There's a harsh wind. Ooh! Ooh! God, I love the north. Ooh. That's weather. Well, good morning, and here we are driving around the Black Hills early, and we finally got plenty of proper driving B-roll. My initial thought, of course, is this was pretty cool, just driving around the long way to get up to the you-know-where spot that we're going to be arriving at shortly. But I know most people probably take the north road to come in from the back, but I wanted to drive through the tunnels, so I took the long route around from the south. And I gotta say, driving around the Black Hills, at least in the forest part, it reminds me a lot of the Texas Hill Country, only more so. Of course, what would it be driving B-roll without some wildlife? Here we are coming up on the top of a hill, and in the distance is exactly what it looks like. Ah, what a sight. And I don't have a problem with Canadian geese as long as they don't have a problem with me. Lounging through the first tunnel, and there's nothing really spectacular about a one-lane road, but I don't remember the last time that I've driven on a paved one, so how's that for traveling? Of course, we came right up to the historical marker of the Dwayne Robinson Tunnel, and right through the middle of it is a great shot. Of course, going further around the winding Iron Mountain Road. That's some pretty cool architecture for the bridge, which I don't think we normally get anywhere else. Ta-da! Good morning and welcome to Mount Rushmore. There's a few more people coming up the path, but so far, there's nobody right behind me. I think it's about 30 degrees. This is very cold, but hey. This is one of those mornings. And, you know, I'm gonna try to walk backwards a little. No, I look weird to everybody looking at me. But oh man, bucket list. It's the perfect time of day. Well, perfect time of morning. Apparently you got to get here before 8 to get the ideal light on the faces. But yeah, I don't want to disturb anybody else. So for now, I'm just gonna take some pictures. Yeah. As far as composition goes, it's kind of at the top of an amphitheater, so there's really only one way to shoot this. But not only that, just, you know, being here, there's still some snow around. A couple more families are popping in, but it is don't want to throw the term awe-inspiring around, but waiting for them to go. But yeah, just driving through the Iron Mountain roads, the Black Hills. Ooh, this is living. 30-degree weather, hardly anybody out. Of course, I'm the only one on the roads out there. I don't know where all these people popped up from, probably from coming from the north. I came around south to go through the tunnel. But history, you know. Might have to work on the contrast in post, but hey, with only one way to shoot it. This is the easy one. But what most people don't get to see is that these guys have a really good hidden talent. All right, hit it, fellas.
Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now.
Yes, I know it's cliche and everybody who's visited has gotten the same shot, but that still doesn't make it any less enjoyable. And I think anyone who gets their own shot, hey, there's a great memory. Plus, depending on the time of day, the light's going to contrast in different spots on their faces. So, hey, that's cool. Warming up my frozen hand and nose. But the other reason to come up to Mount Rushmore is to try Thomas Jefferson's own recipe of vanilla ice cream. Tastes like vanilla. I like it. My question is, how did Thomas Jefferson create this? So far, that's been a mystery. And now that I've gotten my breakfast, it's time to head over to the bigger and better Crazy Horse Memorial. The sun is out, blue sky's out, and it's still snowing. Black Hills are wild, man. And apologies in advance. I know I get a little carried away when it comes to talking about history sometimes, but I don't think anybody would mind that. And this monument is extremely important, not only to, my fascination with history and everything, but to a lot of people. Okay, I'm going to try to make this short and sweet because the wind is biting. But, the one thing I knew I was going to be more excited than seeing Mount Rushmore is I really wanted to check out the Crazy Horse Monument and make it out in the distance. And I've had my emotional time looking at it, and just the Native American Museum around here, so much history. It's really hard to put in words. I just think this is one of the most important projects and areas around. And I wish I could see the finished project in my lifetime. I don't know if we will, because they can't finish the monument with just federal grants or anything. It has to be purely by donations, and that is going to take a long time. And a little bit earlier, it was sunshine, blue sky, and snowing all at the same time because it's below freezing, at least with the wind chill. But yeah, this is great. I learned so much about the artist. He was like the Ansel Adams of sculptors. At least that's how it seemed, because the guy was so amazingly talented. He did bust a Wild Bill Hickok, and he helped a little bit with Mount Rushmore. The Native American chief wanted him to do this, and oh man, I did just learn. A nice lady in the gift shop was telling me that the hand at the end of the monument is going to be finished on June 3rd of this year, 2023. I think that's amazing. So no more blasting. They're just going to be doing manual carvings. I mean, yeah, to me, I believe I have a tiny percentage bit of Cherokee. But this is Dakota territory. So yeah, composition wise, it is what it is. But being in the presence of greatness, do some research on the Crazy Horse Monument, because if you're a history lover like I am, there is so much to learn about the area and the people and the crafts, everything that Native Americans have made throughout the generations. So yeah, after this, check out Custer State Park, or at least travel around the loop, get some more wildlife. So yeah, off we go. Again, not a whole lot of different angles to get a shot of this, but still, beauty in what it is. It doesn't have to be the ideal Instagram post. I just can't wait until it's finished. Okay, I've had my time of amazement, and now we're on to the Custer Wildlife Loop Road. And as I entered the state park, I knew that there was a lake I wanted to get specifically to photograph, but when I got there, there was a bit of a plot twist. Alright, so I'm driving through Custer State Park on 16A, and I look to my right and I see there's a lake that's slightly frozen. Like, I have not seen that. So, because, I live in the South, and we don't have cool things like that. And I think this is Legion Lake. So, just framing up some composition. I think it's alright. It's more humorous than anything else. So, yeah, it's a quick shot. But, I don't know, maybe something will come out of it. Let's see. Now, I tried making two versions of this image. One, as you see, and one I photoshopped out all the other kayaks. But in the end, I felt it just gave too much negative space, and the light was, a little too high up to make it a little more dynamic with all that ice. So, as funny as it was, I think this is honestly the better photo. Alright, now we're properly on the loop road and enjoying the vast wilderness everywhere. And funny enough, as I'm coming around one corner, I came nearly face to face with nature's roadblock. So here's the problem. You got buffalo on the road, and they're coming this way. You can probably hear I set the vehicle in reverse, ready to haul it backwards in case they came at me. Okay. Please move. And then I discovered something new about bison. I didn't know they could do that. He somewhat easily just climbed over the fence. Over the barrier. Come on, buddy, you can do it. There you go. Who's your good boy? So that's pretty cool to see what, nature can do on its own when there's not a whole lot of people around. And fun fact, did you know that a bison can run up to 35 miles an hour? Now I do, now that I've seen it way off in the distance. One little bison just booking it, and of course it happened right before I could get my camera out. Okay, when I pulled up, the wind wasn't that bad, and then I set the camera up on the tripod, and all of a sudden, standing right behind the tripod, like I could be leaning against the wind, just woo. Haven't done that since I was up on the Empire State Building. But, it's minimalistic, I suppose. And way off in the distance, there were some bison just hauling ass across the field, wilderness, meadow, glen, whatever. And now they're slowly making their way back. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm hoping I don't have to run and grab the tripod, but all of a sudden now it's starting to... There was sun, and now some snow is coming in. Ooh. There. So I'm just making my way out around the entirety of the wildlife loop, Saw some bison right beside the road, so took advantage of that. Saw some pronghorns, and they didn't run, because over by the Badlands, pronghorns seem to be like more skittish than the deer. So I don't know, but you know, this is nice. This is great for a meditative spot, and kind of the way these hills are in the distance off in this direction, it does kind of remind me of Scotland. So yeah, it's nice. I'm gonna try to make my way to the Windy Caves. May not stop there, but just for a few minutes. The images I saw online of the caves, it's cool, but we do kind of have those in the hill country as well. I don't believe it. All those squeaks, I thought it was birds. There's prairie dogs right over there. Huh. Hello. Oh, go bark yourself. So yeah, Windy Caves, maybe drive a little further to the Jewel Caves, and then haul ass back to Rapid City, eat, and then go back to the Badlands, and hope that it's not cloudy. Because if it is, then there's no point. I should go back just for the yellow mounds. I did like those. They were nice. So, yeah. Onward and upward. All right, here it is, your moment of nature zen. Bison quietly eating on the highway.
She's
Mommy, what's that big thing in the distance? Why is it looking at us?
Don't worry about it, Junior. It's just people.
Why is he looking at us, Mommy? What's that thing he's holding? What is that, Mommy? Why?
Now, as you know, I'm not necessarily a wildlife photographer for the most part, but when you can get a shot of nature in action, it is amazing. Because a parent can only take so much of Junior's adolescent crap for one day. And I did see the famous begging burros about 50 yards on the left right after seeing this family of bison, and they didn't come up to my vehicle, begging for food like supposedly they normally do for people. I think because it was a little below freezing and the wind was very harsh, and so a bunch of them are just huddled together standing staring at me like, what? Either throw me some food or keep on driving. So on to the Jewel Caves, and it's dark, it's very low light, and you can't really get an amazing shot unless somebody's shining a big flashlight on something. But it's interesting though. And of course, when you see a giant piece of bacon, you gotta get a picture of the bacon. And I also thought, this is pretty cool, and there's hundreds of miles of this cave system going under the Black Hills and everything in South Dakota for a couple hundred miles at least from what they said. And as amazing as it was for what I did see, I also thought, well, maybe I can focus more of trying to get photos of, caves and such back in the Texas Hill Country, because we already have a whole lot of caves. So, back to driving in a little bit of snow, and it's gradually getting heavier and heavier. But to someone from the south, I thought it was still pretty cool. So I made it all the way back to Rapid City, stopped at a drive-thru, and just kept on going way back to the Badlands. So, whole lot of tired driving, and the clouds were still just, the light wasn't looking good again for today. So I didn't go back to the Yellow Mounds. I thought it's just going to look even more flat than the first day I was here. But one of the overlook points, I set my camera up. The wind's blowing harsh, it's cold, and it's just loud, and I didn't think to film myself talking about anything because even with the mic underneath my jacket, I thought this just isn't going to work. So I'll just get some photos, because the Badlands overlooks are amazing. So as I set my tripod up right at the edge of a bit of a cliff, I looked down, and sitting on this rock right underneath the edge is this kestrel hawk. I'm like, whoa, I didn't think I could get this close. It didn't even hear me. It didn't know I was there because that's how loud the wind was. As I said hello, just wanted to make my presence known to it. It didn't even freak out and fly away right away. It just turned its head, taken aback, staring at me for a second, like, hi? And then it just took off very slowly, like it was annoyed, but also cold, of course, like, okay, I'm gonna get out of your way. Again, nature. So I like this shot, because I normally didn't see something like this, where there's still a bit of snow, really packed snow into just blocks of ice in the Badlands. It's like, I like it, despite the cloud cover. After a few more minutes, the sun started peeking through, and I didn't think it was gonna last in time, knowing my luck and Murphy's Law. The moment I set up to get a good shot, the light's gonna be gone. And the light was hitting the rocks pretty good. So, just enjoy it. And after a few more moments, I decided, even though the wind is blowing very harshly, I'm going to set everything up and try to get another shot at close to the same point that I did in the previous video. I think this one turned out a little better despite the camera level not being exact, even though it said it was. So this panorama isn't perfect, but it's still enjoyable. So there we are. It was a very long day. Lots of driving, of course, but I'm glad I set time to not do too much in one day like I ended up doing in Oregon. Took my sweet time getting back to the hotel. I did stay a little longer in the Badlands because I thought, according to my phone, there may have been a slight chance of northern lights peaking. The clouds were just coming further and further in on the north and the west. To the south and the east, no clouds at all. But that's not where I wanted to be looking. But again, that's my luck. So after it got plenty dark and the chance of the lights going away, I just decided, okay, back to the hotel, take it easy for the rest of the evening. Got myself a late dinner and a drink because I needed it. And I had a coupon. So that's it for the second day. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did get a little something out of even a little tiny part of the video, go ahead and give it the old thumbs up there. I'd greatly appreciate it. And tomorrow, day 3, driving from Rapid City over to Deadwood. And that day is going to get even wilder. So thank y'all very much for watching. Looking forward to the next video. Y'all be excellent, and I will see you in the next one. If you were there, you would agree. Oh yeah, Junior had it coming.
Yeah.